Our program moves on to a conversation with award-winning photographer José Galvez. We begin our profile with José talking about his style and professional career.
I've been documenting Latino life in the United States for close to 40 years now. Most recently, 5 years ago, we moved to North Carolina, and where I've been documenting the Latino presence in the South, but right now, here I am in Cal State, LA, and a lot of the pictures that I have done were during my times when I worked here in 1980 to 92 at the Los Angeles Times. So a lot of the pictures are Boyle Heights, East LA, Lincoln Park, but a lot of the pictures are also in Arizona. So I've been doing it close to 40 years now. It was sort of like for the longest time we had tried to get stories done on East LA and Latinos for the LA Times, and there was always resistance, but we finally talked him into letting us run on a whole series of articles which we worked on starting in 1982, and we actually really started reporting on it in 1983, and they ran over 2 different weeks in the summer of 1983, and we submitted the stories and the photographs for a Pulitzer, and we received a Pulitzer in Community Service in 1984. So this is sort of commemorating the 25th anniversary of that honor, and we were the first Chicanos in any of the Pulitzers, and there's a number of Pulitzers, not just in journalism, but in the arts and music and the theater, and we were the first, and it's an honor that we're very proud of, and it opened up a lot of doors, and I still use a lot of those same pictures for my exhibits and my talks.
We asked José about his trademark style and his process in capturing that special moment with the camera.
My style is very street photography style. I run around, I cruise the streets, I see a composition or a group of people doing something, or I like the background, and my brain does a really quick memory scan. Do I have anything like that? If I don't have something like that, I really try to make an effort to get it. It also does a recollection as well. If I have something similar to like that, what makes this one worth stopping for? And a lot of times I do just keep on going and say, no, I've got plenty of that. I've got plenty of folkloric dancers or mariachis on the streets, or kids playing, or old people hanging out. But every now and then it becomes it's something like really organic, and I just can't really put my finger on it, what makes me really realize that that's a keeper. I work in black and white photography because, the history of photography really started with black and white, and I think all the great art photographs in photography wind up being in black and white. The Ansel Adams, the Cartier-Bressons, the Manuel Alvarez Bravos, all those were in black and white. It's a film and style that I learned in high school, and I never really did learn color photography. And for me, color photography, it works on your brain differently. You see a colored photograph and it's, oh, that's a pretty picture. Oh, that's a nice red. Oh, look at that beautiful purple sky. Black and white, you really have to just sort of get into the photograph and come up with your own interpretation. It took me a while to get to the level of where I'm at. I think in my early 20s, it was still really rough. The pictures weren't as composed. The moments weren't as waited for as I later became much more patient. And the composition, a picture is like a painting. It has the elements of composition and placement and where should people be in that photograph. Watch out for your backgrounds. All these little things just sort of like started taking shape maybe by my mid-20s, and the picture started getting much better. And so nowadays it's something that really just happens almost instantaneously. I'm behind the camera, and it's a matter of just tilting the camera real quick and moving around real quick, and I've got it. So and that's something that you can learn, but sometimes it's just like, I think a natural artist is sort of eventually just develops it.
Jose talks about his current projects.
Nowadays, I primarily do lectures, I do exhibits, I do portable exhibits, much like I'm doing this weekend. I have done book projects, and that's what I'm promoting now is my latest book, which is Shine Boy, which is a collection of stories of my childhood. And I teach very infrequently, more so as like one-to-one. Some kid will call me up and say, can I come and hang out with you, or can I come interview you? And it's usually that sort of style. I'm not really cut out to be. I taught when I was here in Los Angeles, and the students loved me, but they really tore me apart because I was really critical. And you got to be critical. That picture's out of focus. The composition is bad. And they appreciated that, but ultimately they didn't like the fact that they weren't getting the A's.
Mr. Galvez finished our conversation by talking about the work he is doing in North Carolina.
What I've been doing for the last couple of years, along with everyone else in the country, is documenting the current immigration debate. And I think it's important that what I'm doing in North Carolina, I could be doing it anywhere, but there in North Carolina or in the South, Latinos are really changing the face of the communities of the states. And I feel that we're in a new time in our development. It's like a new Latino, Chicano struggle that's different than back in the 60s and 70s. And I'm sort of like wanting to see how it plays out.